AviationPros.com is the portal website for AMT, Airport Business, and Ground Support Worldwide magazines. Visit daily for breaking news, industry blogs, and insightful articles from our magazine's editorial team. And don't forget to sign up for our publication's daily e-newsletters. It's all at AviationPros.com.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Aviation Pros podcast being recorded at the GSE Expo Europe in Lisbon, Portugal. I'm Josh Smith, editor of Ground Support Worldwide, and I'm pleased to be joined today by David Fernandez, head of fleet for Swissport International. David, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy expo schedule to talk with us a little bit about ground support equipment.
Hello, Josh. Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a great show so far, and just is excited to see so many manufacturers and also all the ground handlers here around. So it's been very busy days, and also very nice to see all the trends that we are having here. A lot of electrification going on, also many safety features that we are also as ground handlers very focused on. So therefore, yes, it's for the time being, it's being a very nice time to put in common all these practices. Yes.
Yeah, speaking of those GSE trends, we are seeing, of course, the electrification of all sorts of types of ground support equipment. I think traditionally maybe it's been limited to baggage tractors or belt loaders, but it's really not the case any longer. Can you speak a little bit to some of the trends that are really sticking out to you as you walk up and down the aisles at the show here?
Exactly, yes. Right now the electrification is reaching nearly all kind of assets. In fact, we have even started to electrify some even heavy pushbacks or even lower deck loaders or even main deck loaders, and therefore is the right way forward. We really see that there are a lot of benefits for along the value chain for us, for our customers, for our operators, for our technicians, for the environment also as well. But the main challenge or the main differences that we are still seeing here is that the different manufacturers are still getting different approaches on how to electrify the units. The voltage rates of the units are still not homogeneous across the manufacturers. Some manufacturers are still pushing for low voltage despite the heavy duties that this machinery need, and some others have very clear that the high voltage is the right way. From Swissport perspective, of course, we are following what the different manufacturers are saying to be from one side safe, from one side efficient, but we are starting to see that if we want to really push forward more effectively and more quickly the electrification, what we have to do is to follow a little bit a much broader industry, that is the car industry, and rise the voltage and homogenize a little bit more the charging protocols, because with that we will also give an additional aid to the airports, help them to help us on the electrification journey and make it simpler. All this, I wouldn't say it's a mess so far, but it's very, very tough and very difficult to put on the same page all the different voltage rates, all the different charging infrastructure, charging protocol, charging ports. So right now our view is if the manufacturers can finally standardize a little bit further their own approaches and hopefully more towards higher voltages, then we can get closer to the car technology, and therefore we can have the entire industry, including the airports, embracing a charging technology that is more well known for everyone out there.
You also alluded to some safety trends that you're seeing throughout the show. Can you share maybe some types of safety features that have stood out to you at the event?
Yes, of course the electrification is one thing, but the safety for us as ground handler is first. I mean, we are having in Swissport our 6 safety commitments. We are already mandating, I would even say, all our folks there in the ramp to put full priority to the safety. So we say standard operating procedures before even on-time delivery. We are putting them to not only do things that they are trained for. If they even see what is not working well, to report it. We are in that kind of culture, okay? And that kind of culture is not because we are going to be making more money out of it. It's because first first we want to have our guys coming back home safe, and also we want our customers to have a seamless experience without any aircraft damage, without any, let's say, bad experience, right? And therefore aircraft damage protection and also operators injury for us is our priority. We are, of course, since already 2019 we are already ordering equipment with the aircraft anti-collision systems, but these systems they are every year changing and evolving, and we are the first ones pushing all manufacturers to do additional little by little tweaks and improvements on all of them. So the very first anti-collision systems were just a siren. Today we are even starting to talk about self-docking devices. No, there is still a long journey to do, asset by asset, no, and type by type, but therefore anything that prevents aircraft damage and anything that prevents our guys to really have, whether from minor to major injuries, this is what we are specifying to the manufacturers, seeing how their devices work or do not really work. And well, here in the Expo you have got many solutions, but on all of them we are aware about them, and for all of them we have got additional improvement comments that we are making to them.
Very good. If we could circle back to some of the electrification conversation, last week Swissport announced that they have accelerated their shift to electric ground support equipment, and I believe the figure is you're seeking 55% of your GSE fleet to be electric by the year 2032. How close is the company to that goal today, and how much work is ahead of you?
Exactly. We committed already to be by 55% of our motorized fleet already electric, 32% of that, and we are already having over 23% of our motorized fleet already electric, which is a very decent figure, given the fact that not in all the stations we are having fleet present in over 240 airports in the world. And I can tell you that difficulties in the airports are still encountered in any shape. Perhaps in some places there is not available power. In some others they are only wanting to invest on, as I was saying before, electric car infrastructure. So the challenges and the difficulties and the handicaps are several and very diverse here and there. But there are challenges there with the airports, and therefore, despite that, I think that the rate that we have got today of this 23% plus is already a good thing. But we still have got these 32 additional percentage points to go, and we cannot just make it happen just as leave it to its own sake. No, what we have done is to structure it a little bit and to already put ourselves some kind of hard stops and hard thresholds or timely horizons to start introducing GSE, electric GSE, by then full electric. No, we first established ourselves, as you were mentioning before, the lower duty equipment. No, so conveyor loaders, passenger stairs, baggage tractors, and to be honest, we are nearly there already. So the vast majority of these asset types we are already ordering electric, and of course by next year we already should be going full electric. Besides, despite the hiccups and despite the difficulties that of course we need to get around, and it's not seamless. It's not easy to get them around. But in the following years, as you are seeing here in the Expo, we have to enter into medium duty and heavy duty equipment. We are working with the suppliers to really make sure that we have got the right model for the right purpose, and then it would be a matter to continue with our already established time horizons to already by then already order them electric. And with that, what the final aim with all this is to really put a real deployment plan that really can make us be there. But so far we are in the right path.
Very good. In addition to using the ground support equipment, the ground handlers and the airlines you self-handle are not just customers of the GSE industry, but really partners, and have that first-hand experience and that direct feedback for the manufacturers to help them design and further innovate the equipment. Can you speak to the role that Swissport plays specifically in the ground handling industry, more generically, play in that role of developing ground support equipment?
Exactly. Swissport has been already over the last, I would say, 20 years, been working hand by hand with all manufacturers, and in fact some of them are already kind of very protagonist in the market. I wouldn't name any, but you know, to the ones I am referring, we have been even developing with them units from scratch, so transporter loaders with particular specifications, or house designs of handrails of the conveyable loaders, or now these anti-collision systems. We are in constant conversations on them on improving further their existing features, also setting up our own specifications on what should be embodied into our equipment, or even how would it look like in terms of sizes, in terms of power that the units have got. And I have got an endless list of units that with the collaboration between us and the suppliers, we have already whether designed it from scratch or further developed. And well, I am already looking here outside, I am already seeing 2 manufacturers that we have already, even this morning, just looking into the equipment. And in fact they are very proactive. They directly bring their engineers, they take note on what we are saying, because at the end of the day they know how to do it, but they don't have the possibility of experiencing hundreds of times a week the operational exercise that we are doing. So therefore, as soon as we tell them, hey guys, you are doing this approach, but in the ramp this will not work, we are doing it in a different way, they really recognize that, and therefore the synergy is very powerful, and in general with all of them it works really well, and the outcome is that one. Already since a long time ago, whether equipment per se is being designed and manufactured as such, or even what they think that it will work out, we get it tried, we get it tweaked, and they really work in cooperation with us.
And maybe one final thought before we wrap up the conversation here, but of course when we're at exposition like this, we see kind of the future and some of the more cutting edge technology and ideas out there. Could you share a couple of future trends that you think we could expect to see maybe in the near future, and then maybe an extended view into more of a long-term future plan?
Yes, so I think that the 2 main trends are more related to, as I was saying before, safety. So to have our people driving safely, operating safely, and therefore, well, we are. That is also more linked to some telematic systems, also on drivers' behavior recognition, and trying to be proactive on preventing any incident or accident before event can happen. No, so therefore we are seeing more and more investment and more efforts from the manufacturers, also from any other let's say support company, and also of our interest as ground handlers, to go into these additional features that are more looking into how can we make the driver's behavior safer. No, everyone to put their seatbelts on, to not to get distracted, to do the right thing, to be assisted with more systems, to even to any kind of minor not fine adjustment to be in some way absorbed by the unit. No? And the other one would be the automation. No? I think that automation is something that still requires a little bit of particularizing a little bit the use cases, no? Because at the end of the day, automation, you can automatize nearly everything, but what is really worth it, right? And therefore, well, I see here some alternatives for baggage tractors, can go a little bit autonomous. Also, for sure, for us, the self-docking devices, it should be something that we think that the automation should go forward. So yes, it's starting to be a teething thing, the automation, but I still see that trend a little bit dispersed yet, and we have to perhaps focus it a little bit on real practical use cases, I would say.
Well, very good, David. I appreciate the time. Again, I know it's a busy event for everybody. Sharing some of your time with us today is greatly appreciated. We thank you and wish you good luck for the remainder of the event.
Absolutely, anytime, Josh. At the end of the day, this is a very compact world that we have to work in cooperation with each other, and therefore to stay in the same page and share the experience is the right thing to go forward. So fully open to these things, and thank you for having me here.
That'll conclude this special edition of the Aviation Pros podcast, being recorded from the GSE Expo Europe in Lisbon, Portugal. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, you can subscribe to it wherever you download your podcasts, rate and review it, and share it with your colleagues in the industry. And as always, please continue to visit AviationPros.com.